My name is Elizabeth Littlefield from CGAP in Washington. I think probably more broadly, I'd like to just mention that CGAP's aim really is, broadly speaking, to help build deposit-driven local financial markets providing services to the poor. And of course, this means lots of different things, many of which are the things that the MABS program has been deeply involved in since its outset. It means building the institutional capacity so that sound financial institutions can be created that are worthy of taking poor people's deposits. It means getting the policy framework right so that governments put in place systems, regulatory, legislative, and supervisory systems that enable access to be stimulated while depositors and other customers are protected. And it means building the market infrastructure. Technology is one piece of that market infrastructure, but also the information architecture is another important piece. Building reliable, comparable information on a huge range of financial performance on a huge range of institutions is critical, because it's only through demonstrating that financial performance that we really will be able to bring in commercial capital, both domestic and international, to truly grow the way we want to be growing. So the MABS project and the rural banks that are its partners have been in many, many respects models in many of these areas of building local deposit-driven markets, in showing that the information architecture can be put in place and the technology can be put in place. And it's been a pioneer in other areas. So I'd just like to congratulate you one more time. And I believe my colleague Patricia Mwangi will also allude to the tremendous success you've had specifically in addressing this issue of financial transparency and of promoting the financial performance of many of your members. Thank you very much.
My name is Patricia Mwangi. I work at CGAP and I manage the CGAP Financial Transparency Award. On the occasion of the RBAP MABS project's 10th year anniversary, I would like to congratulate you all and share a few things about the CGAP Financial Transparency Award. 3 years ago, CGAP launched as a pilot the Transparency Award to improve financial disclosure among MFIs. When we started the pilot, 150 MFIs across the world participated from around 52 countries. In the following year, those numbers went up to 175 from 62 countries. And last year, we had record participation with 230 MFIs from 63 countries. Out of the record numbers last year, 13 of the entries were from the Philippines. And of the 13 entries, 12 were rural banks under the MABS project. Clearly, the MABS project has made an impressive commitment to better financial disclosure among its members. I'm happy to recognize that at least one of the members, rural bank Valiant, won merit recognition. It so happens that Valiant is the first Philippine institution to win merit recognition in this competition. I would like to thank you once again for the opportunity to speak with you on the occasion of your celebration and to congratulate you and wish you the best going forward.
Hello, I'm Peter Wall, Executive Director of the Microfinance Information Exchange, or as we are better known, MIX. I want to take a moment to talk about the history of MIX's work in the Philippines and the growth of performance monitoring and benchmarking coverage in the country. Currently, MIX covers over 900 microfinance institutions worldwide. Our benchmarks for the year 2005 covered a subset of 450 of these institutions, with even more planned for coverage in 2006. These institutions come from almost 100 developing countries worldwide. Among these countries, I am happy to report that the Philippines had the highest number of our participants in the 2005 benchmarks, with 44 institutions, 23 of which were rural banks. On our mixed market website, the Philippines is second only to India in terms of number of institutions participating. We are proud that 58 Filipino institutions, including 24 rural banks, have chosen to present themselves in mixed market and demonstrate that commitment to transparency. It is often said that savings is the forgotten half of microfinance services. Microfinance institutions worldwide provide savings services far less often than credit services. The rural banks of the Philippines are among the few and remarkable exceptions to this rule. Rural bank benchmarks MIX creates, in cooperation with NCPI and RBAP MABS, reveal that these institutions work with almost 3 times as many depositors as borrowers, and that these deposits finance over 90% of the loan portfolios of the rural banks. The remaining financing comes from other sources, almost entirely on commercial terms. Stand out when looking at the benchmark analysis performed by MIX, MCPI, and MABS. NGOs in the Philippines have operating expenses that are more than twice as high as rural banks, despite the general lack of savings services at these institutions. Interest rates at NGO microfinance providers are also similarly higher. It is clear that both sets of institutions are adopting different strategies to work with microfinance clients. Benchmarking and financial transparency allow rural banks to have a clear picture of their activities adjusted to international standards. Rural banks participate in mixed market, and the annual benchmarks receive free analytic reports that place their activities in both local and global context, and which act as an essential tool for management and decision making. The growth of the rural banking sector is an important component of the global trend towards increasing integration of microfinance into the commercial financial sector. As rural banks increase their microfinance portfolios, this will be another valuable way to highlight their activities. Let us take this opportunity to congratulate Valiant Bank, the first rural bank recipient of the merit recognition for the CGAP Financial Transparency Awards. Valiant Bank was one of 18 rural banks that participated in the mixed market in 2005. The CGAP Financial Transparency Awards commend institutions that have complete and clear disclosure of their financial activities. It is a credit to Valiant Bank that they were able to achieve recognition in this very competitive process. In addition, we would like to congratulate the 5 rural banks that have recently become mixed market participants. These institutions have made good on their promise to commitment to financial transparency and have agreed to present their activities to the global financial community. These institutions are Rural Bank of Labac, Rural Bank of Mabitac, Rural Bank of Cotabato, Mali Plains Rural Bank, and Rural Bank of Oroquieta. In conclusion, we'd like to once again thank RBAP MABS, USAID, and MCPI for their support in helping us to increase awareness of the importance of supporting financial transparency. Thank you, and please enjoy the meeting.